Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finale of this season of the White Paper Podcast. Come on, everybody. Can I hear you shouting? Can I hear you screaming? Can I hear you clapping? I can't hear you guys. Oh, studio people, you're not happy that this is the final episode. Yeah, studio people, give me some energy. Yes. Don't leave me by myself because you've been with me since before the first episode. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate everyone who's been a part of it. Of course, first of all, God Almighty, our source, our creator, our originator, our chief sponsor, our chief inspiration officer, CIO, right? Chief Inspiration Agency, CIA, Chief Inspiration Dispenser, CID, and all the other C's. That's why it's called overseer, right? So many C's. See Christ in me, the hope of glory. Okay, anyway, we thank God for strength, for inspiration, for energy, for sustenance, and of course, we thank God for all the amazing people who have been a part of this. Starting with my wife, the very first person I spoke about this to, I think over a year ago or thereabout. And then, of course, my amazing team at Dreamstream, Dreamspace, all the amazing people who have helped with ideation, with execution. Let me celebrate Bukola ID, incredible assistant, project support officer, food buyer, coordinator, all the works. Bukola Akitola, thank you for your input to social media with getting some of the designs up and all of that. And then we have Toyin, project support. We have Iyanu, we have GB, we have Paulo. Everybody give it up for Paulo. Now, Paul is the guy who's been shooting, editing, designing the motion, much of the motion graphics and all of that. So grateful. Of course, so many other people on the project like Nero who did much of the motion graphics as well. And I'm sure I've left one or two other people. We appreciate you. Gogo, of course. Gogo, who did the first draft for the project plan and who just helped me flesh this idea out. I appreciate you all. I celebrate you massively. I'm grateful for your input, your time, your energy, your encouragement. And then for our die hard, no, we didn't die. Our live hard, live strong fans, followers, viewers, all those of you who've been leaving comments, sharing ideas, sharing the links. What else? What have you been doing? Praying along, telling people about it. We love you. We appreciate you. Everybody in the studio, please celebrate, appreciate, accommodate. Well, don't accommodate. Just clap for everybody who has supported us so far. Let me hear it one more time. No, come on, give me more life. 12 episodes of wisdom, of warmth, of wit. Some of those episodes have been ridiculously hilarious, but every episode has been loaded with vital information, crucial content that is timeless, not only in its essence but also in its delivery. So if you've missed any episode, go through our YouTube channel and catch up. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be sharing snippets, highlights, bloopers, behind the scenes, and some exciting content. So ensure that you subscribe to this channel and that you stay tuned all the way. When we are back from this short break, I'm going to be introducing an exciting guest. Today's episode is phenomenal for many reasons, and it's because the guest is super special. She's somebody I've known all my life, more like she's known me all my life. Can you guess who that is? Stay tuned. We'll be back to dive into the meat of the matter. Welcome back. It's Oluwatoyinbo here, the creator of White Paper Wisdom and White Paper Podcast. And on this final episode of our very first season, I have one of my most favorite people on the face of the earth in all of time and eternity. Ladies and gentlemen, she's an amazing person, a bundle of gifts and talents, energetic, intelligent, a woman of great capacity, very accomplished, an intellectual par excellence, a disciplinarian, award-winning medalist in imparting spiritual and mental sense with words, but also with the fivefold ministry of her hands. Celebrate with me, my friend, an intercessor, a speaker, communicator, lecturer, PhD holder, researcher, international communicator, author, mother, queen, Dr. Mrs. F.I. Oluwatoyinbo. Come on, let's celebrate mommy in the house, mommy in the house, mommy in the house.
Thank you.
It is so good to see you.
It's so great to be here.
Thank you very much, mommy, for
great.
obliging your little boy, who has now become a man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me start by thanking you for all that you are to me, and my siblings on our behalf. We are so grateful for your myriad investments of love, of care, of compassion, of intelligence, of prayers. Thank you for all those many years. So for me, it's been 4 decades. For my older brother and older sister, more than 4 decades of just being there. Yeah. And you've always been present. There's never been a time in our lives where we looked and said, mommy was not there. You've always been there. So whether it was primary school, most of us, I think all of us did that in Ibadan. But then secondary school, from secondary school, university, people went to different cities of Nigeria. Yeah. But we always knew that you were there with us even before there was GSM. Right. You were there with your prayers. You were there on visiting day. You were there bringing gifts and sometimes bringing correction. But you've always been there. And for that, we're so grateful for your love.
To God be all the glory.
Eshegoni Ekutajua Amore.
We bless God.
Thank you very much.
It's so good being here. It's a great pleasure for me. And if you permit me to,
yes,
I want to let you know how excited and how so happy I am to be here. Sincerely, I've had numerous opportunities to engage in conversations, public conversations on public media, on social media, several of them, but this one is particularly precious to me. I treasure it so much. Coming from my own
I'm not gonna cry.
The fruit of my own womb. I'm so excited about it. I'm so grateful to God. I'm so grateful to you for inviting me, and I'm really happy about the way you and your siblings have turned out. I'm grateful for the great work, the tremendous work that you're doing, for making me so proud. Some people meet me for the first time, and then when they know there's a connection between me and Pastor Dami, say, "Wow, you are the mother of Pastor Dami." I've had so quite a number of encounters that look like that woman in the Bible in Luke chapter 11. Who listened to Jesus, the wisdom, the depth, the maturity, and then the power displayed by him, casting out devils, working miracles, and the woman burst out from the crowd. Blessed is the womb that bore you, and the paps that nursed you. I mean, I've had encounters like that concerning you and your siblings. So I don't know how more grateful a parent could be. I am grateful. I'm happy.
Thank you, ma'am.
I thank you, and I thank every one of you. I'm so grateful. I'm happy.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm excited.
Thank you, ma'am. Is the humility for me. Thank you so much, ma'am. We really appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. And excuse me. I think it's also very important for us to have this kind of conversations whilst we're alive
Yeah.
and well. Yeah, it really does make a difference. This is something I wish I had done with Daddy.
With Daddy.
Yeah. And I said to myself, I'm not going to miss that opportunity.
Yeah.
I trust God to keep you alive and strong for 30 years.
Amen.
And so that we can have multiples of this in different ways. And maybe even have one where we have all the family members
Yes.
together. And then one with the children and grandchildren. Yes, God will give us a bigger studio to accommodate them.
Amen.
So we're going to talk about that. So you've spoken about us, but we are because you are. We're
and because God is.
Yes, we're extensions of the good tree that God made you and Daddy. And so one of the things that we'll try to do, even on the White Paper Podcast, is to go into foundations, because we see that ultimately most people's lives reflect dimensions of their foundations.
Yeah.
Right? What people eventually become are oftentimes rooted in parental influence, background, educational exposure, and all of that. So can you give us a bit of your background? Because a couple of things about you, I know you're very strong. I know you're very driven. You're very motivated. I mean, like, there's still things you motivate me about, like, Shelly, bye, she bye. So all that drive is coming from somewhere. So does it come from the fact that you're the first child of the family? Were there experiences early in life that triggered that? Are there revelations that you have? Were there models, maybe in grandpa or grandma or any other? Just give us a walkthrough part of your background.
Sure. All of that is actually coming from my parents. The two of them, actually. My father, my mother. I was born almost 70 years.
You don't look a day past 52.
Ago.
We'll talk about that.
I can see Paul smiling.
You give us the secrets.
Well, I turned 68 actually in February. That's about two months ago.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And I was born to one great man and a great woman, Deacon and Deaconess Okunlola. My father was Jacob Afolabi Okunlola, my mother Rachel. They were humble and simple people. My father, when I was born, was a teacher. Was just a school teacher. He later on, of course, advanced in his education and became an education officer, what we used to call I think we still have them.
I think so. Like field officers.
The Ministry of Education, then in the Western region. So when you are an Omo teacher in those days, I don't know what it is now. High. In those days, if you were an Omo teacher, then you are in for very strict upbringing, good drilling, good grooming, because it was believed that the teacher's children must be a model.
For the rest.
For the rest. And when the teacher in the school decides to discipline a child, they must see that he has done the same.
Pulling their weight on their own children.
Yeah, put their weight on their own children. So that was the kind of background I was born into. So my father was a disciplinarian, but he was, my mother was a disciplinarian too, but their kind of disciplines were different because my father was an educationist, so he knew all the
techniques,
techniques of doing it. So he didn't have to be harsh, hot, hellish all the time. He knew how to discipline you that you will feel it harder than when you are slapped. So that was his own system. Of course, he used the cane a lot. My mother was a typical local educator. And that was where I learned the abarizing.
We'll talk about that.
So that was her own technique. But everything worked together. for our good. Because if it was my father's system only, it might not have brought up the I don't want to use the word perfect, the quality that came. If it came minus the physical
touch.
Touch of it. And so my parents were
the second
disciplinarians. They were strict. And apart from that, they were people who feared God a lot. So apart from disciplining us in social and domestic matters, they also followed up on us spiritually. My grandfather was a pastor. In fact, he was the one that brought Christianity to Okemesi Ekiti. That's where my father hailed from. He was the one that traveled out of the country. He traveled to Ghana. It was called Gold Coast. In those days, it wasn't Ghana then. To purchase the attire for his family's masquerade. The Egungun, which was what they were worshipping. So he was delegated to go. And so you could see how prominent he was in the worship of their idol. And they trusted him that he would get them the best, because there was always competition between the various families that had their own different masquerades. So that was where he encountered evangelists who were holding a crusade, and one of the nights he spent there, because in those days when you are traveling, it's a matter of weeks or even months before you come back. So he encountered people who were holding a crusade. He just went to have a good evening relaxation, and that was where the Holy Spirit caught up with him. And he gave his life to Christ, and instead of bringing back the masquerade attire, he brought back a Bible and a bell. So with that, he started the work of evangelism in that town, and that was how Christianity came into that town.
Amazing.
So that was my kind of background. So we were real strict church people, family devotion people, and things like that. So we had education, we had the spiritual, and so nobody in my family jokes with education. In fact, let me tell you that where I and maybe one of my brothers, who is also in a very good stead, are the only people that are not professors in that family. We are 6 children. We have 4 professors.
Out of the 6?
Yes.
Well, you're as good as professors.
Oh, yes,
because
of course, in our own different settings.
And actually, in certain schools, particularly in America, with your pedigree, you would actually be
even in Nigeria. Because if I worked in a university, I would have been a professor for like maybe 2 decades.
That's amazing.
By now, but I'm contented, I'm happy, and I'm fulfilled. So
amazing.
That is my type of background. So I don't need to tell you then that I went to schools.
Because this captures it, right? It's amazing, and I can bear witness to a couple of the things. I mean, I was at least conscious enough. By the time Grandpa was turning 70, so I remember one of the gifts he gave me. I think he gave me the gift before I was 70. Actually, it was a book about eternity, about God, and I remember that very clearly. That one of the things I liked about being in his house was you just see a lot of books. So, and I think that coupled with the fact that there was a big library at home was one of the things that spurred me on to start reading very early. Not only start writing very early in life, because of that whole culture of attributing value to education and academics and all of that. Thank you very much, Mama. So a couple of things I want to find out. What would you say are 3 to 4 of your core attributes that have delivered like so many results? So you spoke about the family you're from. Out of 6 professors, 4 with the title.
4 with title.
Yeah. But the other aspect is, I'm trying to scan, I think everybody's also a minister.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So everybody's
Of
also
some sort.
of some sorts.
Yeah.
So the family you've raised as well. We have a number of PhDs. We don't have any professor yet out of all my siblings. But we have some PhDs or PhDs in progress. But everybody's a pastor.
Oh, yeah.
So
And that's the question I get asked by people who interview me formally and informally.
So everybody is a pastor,
were you able to
published
raise
author,
all
writing a
your
devotional.
children
Yes.
to become ministers?
Yes.
Authors,
It cannot be
people who are
waved
doing,
away as an accident.
Yes. So I get asked that question very often. The first time it was thrown at me long ago, I sat back and said, it's true.
Yes.
Maybe because I never
planned it.
And I never carried it in my head that, look at what I have achieved. See what I never. So I was taken aback, and then I started taking a look at everybody, and it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
So what would you say is responsible for that?
Well,
if you were to, so generally what people try to do is, and I don't think we do enough of it in Africa.
Okay.
Many times in the Western world, if they see a certain pattern, then they reverse engineer. They will possibly go into 10 years prior, 20 years prior, 30 and say, okay, what did their parents do? What kind of school? So if you notice, like in America, they say that I think 80% of all US presidents came from about 6 to 7 different kinds of schools or something, right? So what do you think, even though they might not be maybe like accurate, but what do you think might have been responsible?
Definitely the root.
Yes.
That kind of, you can't come from the kind of background I emerged from and not pass it on. Whether you like it or not, it's in you.
Yes.
It's in you. It's ingrained. It's not as if it was forced on us, and then when you find yourself on a freedom platform,
just let it go.
But it was ingrained in us. It was part of us. So you can't come from that kind of family and raise people who are less.
Yes. Yes.
So I think I attribute a lot to that. The fact that I had it in me that if my parents in their days could have that type of accomplishment, then I should take it
to another level.
To a higher level. I wanted to say a little further, but I mean, we're more exposed than like you are more exposed than us. Yesterday, you and your wife separately were teaching me. I wanted to do some things on Instagram and so on. So I was asking you questions. So my father never knew a cell phone. So if they did that,
with what they had,
with what was available to them, then I should, go a good distance further than that. So that happened. And secondly, the fact that even you children, God helped us to make you good children. Because there are many parents that have good intentions, good desires for their children, but the children don't cooperate for one reason or the other. But to the glory of God, we have children who really cooperated with us, who listened to us, who were ready to be guided and directed. So God gave you good hearts, hearts that were fertile platforms for sowing.
Awesome.
Yeah. And of course, thirdly, the spiritual.
Yes.
We had the culture of praying at least daily. I put it as at least because sometimes you have to do extra, for our children. Right from what my husband and I used to do was right from the moment we realized that pregnancy has come in. We begin to pray and declare into the life of that baby. Even in those days, we didn't know whether it was girl or boy. Now there is the technology to know. So we will just be praying, Lord, make him or her.
As the case may be.
Whatever it was going to be. So I think those are the major.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I liked all the points, but number 2, you said we cooperated.
Yeah.
And I get it now, because Dad was a vet surgeon and he used to operate on stuff.
Oh, yes.
So we cooperated.
Cooperated, but not
him.
on the surgical table.
Okay. Okay. And
Me
and
too, I'm trying now. Because when you said you wanted to interview me, I said, how will I cope with this boy? I mean, I don't know how to craft words, so but now I think I'm trying.
You are.
Good.
You co-opted with me. Cooperated with me.
Yes.
Nice. All right, let's talk about 5 children. How did you raise 5 children? Like, I feel like anybody that has raised anything more than 3 children is a superstar. Because every child is very demanding, particularly now. How did you, and you had 5 children in 10 years. So it was like average of every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
So that means that there were years where you actually had 2 babies. No, what I mean is within the 2 year period, there were still
maybe one a toddler, one.
Yes.
Okay.
And you still had a career, because all the while you built you rose to the height of your career through all of that. How did that happen? And all of them turned out well.
That's another question I have had to answer
countless
times. And all of you have asked that question. Mommy, how did you do it? And outsiders have also asked. Well, you don't know, like I was involved in a discussion where we were comparing the ancient times with the current times. And we were talking about electricity. That in the villages in those days, they were using
candles or paraffin.
Candles came. Before candles even came, oil
burners, oil tray.
These clay lamps.
Clay lamps.
Okay. Then they would roll cotton wool
and
dip it in palm oil and then light it. And they were living their life happily because they didn't know there was any other type of life or a better type of life. So I think what happened actually was something like that.
I see.
That was where we were. And
everybody was having 4, 5,
we had
6
to
children.
make the best of it. There was there wasn't really much to compare with. Let me say the generation before us were having the educated people were having 6. Okay, the generation of my parents, the educated ones among them were having 6 children. Those who were not educated were having like 8, 10.
Wow.
From the same woman. Yeah. But because they were enlightened people, they were having 6. So when it came to our time, it was 4, 5. I wanted 4. My husband wanted 5. But I had to submit. I remember one day. Okay, no, let me not go there. Let me not go there. It's a joke. Okay, so it was like it was the order of the day. But what made it? What made us successful with it is this penchant in me to always make the best of every situation I found myself in. It was the fact that my daddy always instilled it in me that anywhere I am, or in any assignment that I'm given, I must make sure that mine is the best. In other words, that I must be excellent.
Strive for excellence,
Yeah, that I must always pursue excellence in everything I do. So even in bringing up my children, that drive was there, moving me on, pushing me on.
Yeah.
I wanted my children to come out the best.
Yeah.
That was why with your education, I did not lay back. I did not joke with it. In church, I would always do whatever I could do to make sure that you were in the group selected to represent the children, and all kinds of things. So I think that also helped a lot, and I believe that is what is also pushing you people on. Yes, it's like a seed. Yes. When you plant, when you raise a plant, you raise it from a seed, and then it now produces seed. Yes. And that's it. So what is in the original seed continues to reproduce. The environment may help it the positive way or the negative way, but thank God it's been positive.
Thank God.
All the way.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mama. It's getting even richer. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your insights. So in the next part, we're going to go deeper in the conversation. I'm going to ask more about discipline. I'm going to talk about accomplishments and, of course, ask certain questions that younger people can learn from, and also older people can learn from, in terms of how do you look this great at almost 70 when you look like you're 52. All right, guys, stay tuned. We have a couple of messages from our sponsors.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Jimmy Akingbadi. I'm a facilitating consultant, or what you can call a trainer. I'm also an economist and fine artist, amongst doing some other things. I came in for Pick Your Brain session with Damilola Oluwatoyinbo. I got to know about the session from another webinar I attended that was hosted by him. I must admit that it was mind-blowing, really eye-opening. The session is worth more than what I paid for. It's actually worth something around 100,000 naira. I learned a lot of things. Be consistent to get a pattern of results. Don't try to be all over the place. You can be multi-talented, but define who you are. Define what you want to be known for. Define your vision, and then be consistent. Start small. Start from a particular area. After you are known from that area, you can now diversify into other areas. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody. I recently joined Genius X. It's a community where you are groomed, where you are mentored to achieve your goals. So that's very needed for everybody, whether you are multi-talented or not, whether you are doing business, whether you are creative, it's needed, so that as much as possible, you can carve out your vision and achieve your goals.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned on this episode. We just want to take some time to appreciate our sponsors and supporters on this episode. Before I talk about this episode, let me do another shout out to Kiyoshi for supporting us on a few episodes, and we're open to sponsorships in the next season, and the season after that, and the season after that. So if you have a cause or a business or a product or a service or a solution that you want to export to the rest of the world, this is a good platform for you to plug into. But for today, we celebrate global greatness, our community of progressive business persons, and of course Genius X, our community for creatives and people who are doing great work with their ideas and their gifts. Of course, Dreamstream and Dream Space, where your dreams come to life. And of course, you can also record your own podcast and vlogs and videos right in this facility, or if you need our services at your own location, we can make that work as well. All right, so let's continue this amazing conversation with my very own mother. It's been a good one so far. Thank you, Mommy, for sharing with us. I'm going to be asking some other questions. We've covered family and background. I want to talk about management, because one of the things I admire about you is your ability to stretch in naira to cover many things. so I remember being in secondary school and having to go and shop with you to buy provisions. How are you going to walk from one side of the market
to
the other end of the market? They will come all the way back. I mean, I didn't understand it then. I think I understand it now. But you walk, and you actually, haggle and price and all of that. Then you come all the way back, and eventually we'll buy many things. There's a question that you used to ask that I found very, very funny. I'll ask it in Yoruba because in Yoruba it sounds very funny. Be like, Ekabo, sharing Kora. In other words, excuse me. In other words, were you able to buy something substantial?
Yeah.
But two things about you. Number one, you're very good at negotiating. Very, very good at negotiating. Number two, you are very good at management. Because I also think about how we grew up. We were 5 with dad and mom, so 7. You were both civil servants, of course, businesses now and again with the vet clinic and then the poultry and the soap factory. So you were very industrious. You are very industrious, very creative, very intelligent. But I believe that one of the major reasons we were able to have the kind of life that we had, especially all of us going to private schools. Yeah. Now I understand how expensive private schools. So having 5 children in private schools, right, and being primarily civil servants, apart from the add-on businesses, that meant that you were very financially savvy. And you are very good with management. So can you talk about that? Because that's one of the challenges many people are having today. Particularly in the Nigerian economy, there's a lot of austerity and poverty. Even people who are earning decently are finding it difficult to cope.
Yeah. Well, fundamentally, it's very important to have contentment. You must be ready to be contented with whatever you have. Eschew competition, the spirit of competition. My friend had bought a bag that costs, well, in our days, if you bought a bag costing 10,000 naira, that was extremely expensive. When there were bags that would cost 1,000 naira. For goodness sake, a bag is not something you wear on that wears off quickly. Yeah. So if I buy a 2,000 naira bag and I carry myself well and combine my colors well, in fact, I used to do it so much that people would look at me and admire 5 times before they look at the person that is carrying a 10,000 naira worth of bag once. So it all depends on how you carry yourself. So contentment is very important. You don't need to compete with anybody. I know my type of family. I know what I am pursuing. In other words, I am talking about prioritizing our values.
Yes.
What is it that you are looking for? What is your goal? And then you now map out the details of how you get there. What would you drop? Yeah. What would you carry on? What would you manage? What can you afford to have in quantum? Yeah. So that's very important, contentment. And I learned that a lot from the family I came from.
Amazing.
Don't look at other people. For a long time, my parents did not have a car. Wow. They didn't have a car. But we were happy. They were happy people. And I remember anytime any of their friends bought a car and we went to visit them or they brought the car, my father would hug them, celebrate them, laugh so heartily, pray with all his heart for protection, that was the kind of environment we got. So contentment, number 1. Prioritization, number 2. Fixing your eyes on the goal, being focused on the end result that you are desiring. So that helps a lot in managing. You don't go after what is trending. You don't need to. You don't need to. At the end of the day, you see that you achieve far more than those who force themselves to go along with the current.
I see.
You know. So sitting down, planning. All right, if I just take half of this, can it get me far? Can I stretch a little further? Can I sacrifice a little? Can I bear some little pain just to be able to make do with this?
I see.
You know, like you could not come to my house and you are a visitor that has to eat. And because I have no stew at home, you will not eat. You will eat. That stew will come out from something, you know, put this and this together, add this, a little of this one that you have at home with this scrape, this one, and put everything together, and they will be eating and say, your soup is so delicious. And I will say, you don't know where it came from. So that is it, being able to stretch. And I have this belief that I can stretch.
Yes.
I can stretch a little further. I can stretch a little more than this. Yes, can I go a little further? Yes, let me try. So that's just it. Determination,
Amazing.
Prioritization, having your focus on your goal.
Wow. There you have it. That's really powerful. And I appreciate it even more now because I can think about instances and times when we're growing up that we didn't have to borrow or beg. As a matter of fact, I didn't even realize how challenging it must have been until I grew up. I'm like, okay, wait, they're both civil servants. You know, when you're a child, you're not even thinking anything. You don't have any worries in this life.
What's your business?
All you care about is I go to school, your school fees are paid, you have uniform once you need it, you have 2 or 3 sets of provisions. Exactly. That's true. We even had extra lessons. Amazing. Thank you so much, Robbie. But you said fundamentally contentment.
Yeah.
How about those that are not having fun? To have fun in the fundamental.
They are not having fun.
No fundamental. No fund to ment. They are mental.
They have
no fund for the mental state.
They have to pray for God to provide to provide a fund that will make them to have the right mental state. I think you should have classes for some of us who need to learn these things.
No, but it's good. It's good. So you've heard of, if you're not having fun and you're not having funds, you have to pray.
And you want to be mentally
stable. You have to pray.
You have to pray
to fund your mental.
So that is beyond you. So you have to go beyond yourself.
Hey! It entered. Now one has entered. Fundamental. Now the other thing you said is the management is important.
Yeah.
So I thought about it, is that the reason men grow older faster than women? Because man age, not woman age.
It could be really because
a lot
of men that I have come across
should be women aging.
By God's grace, I have the privilege of counseling, discussing with people, and I found that men always find it difficult to stretch. They don't want to suffer.
But I'm really talking about manage. It's a manage.
Age.
The man is aging.
So the result is that the man will age faster than the woman that can manage.
So what if we change the term to woman age?
We will have to consult Oxford.
Why is the only man that is aging? Let us age together. Manage, womanage, even orphanage, right? Husband age, wife age, children age, son age,
family age.
Oh my God, excuse me. All right, but I really loved what you said about contentment, because I think that's a major challenge in this generation. Why? Because mommy, when you said that somebody brings a car to grandpa's house, yeah, I mean, of course, grandpa was a very good man. I still have very strong memories, but somebody could go, okay, back then you buy a car, it takes time for us to know you've bought the car. Whether you buy the car or not, everybody is happy. Now people will go and post beside cars that are not theirs and post them on social media.
Exactly. Fake lives.
So sometimes people are actually envious over lies.
Yeah.
So what you might be envious about might not even be true. You know,
That's
there have been
true.
pictures of people who did like
Yeah.
Photoshop pictures of themselves abroad.
Exactly.
Whereas they were actually in Oroshoki or something.
Exactly.
So I think that's important. And of course, planning and prioritizing. And those are things that have actually helped me as well. So a couple of other questions. Let's talk about health. You told me a very funny story yesterday about the person from our hometown that said something, that looked at you and said, mommy, if you were not learned, you would be a... so let's talk about that. So by God's grace, we've enjoyed years and years of good health. But there are certain things I picked up from you around dieting and eating. So I realized that you have a very, very, very high fruit and vegetable content in your diet. So like I don't think there's a day that goes by without you chewing on a leaf or a fruit.
Not like a goat.
Oh my goodness! Right.
But that's one of the problems we have.
We have, yeah. So Eramomotonjewe means that it's only goat I know that it leaves.
I know it's goat that it leaves.
Right. So these are also some of the faulty philosophies.
Very faulty.
So in Africa, people feel like if you have a big stomach, what could they say? A sign of good living, of wealth. Not knowing that that's actually a place where things can fester, biomes and stuff like that.
That it's mostly a problem.
So, how did you decide to become a vegetarian? You're not a vegetarian, you eat other things, but you eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of mixtures, juices, and all of that. So I think those are some of the secrets of you looking this good at
I
almost
so.
70.
I know. Yeah, I know. Well, most of my life is just predicated on this general fundamental platform of always seeking to be at the best. And that drives virtually anything that I do. So I believe in being strong. I believe in if you want to accomplish, if you want to achieve, if you want to be successful, you have to be strong.
Yeah.
If you want to raise a good family as a woman, you have, as a woman, manage, womanage.
Man, woman, as
you
a
have
person.
to be strong.
Yeah.
So I always look out for those things that can keep me healthy and strong. A man once said something. His wife fell ill. They are our family friends. The wife fell ill, and the man was begging her, the husband, please don't be sick. You know you are the only one that cannot afford to be sick in this family. Who will be taking care of us? You know, because they were used to mommy
doing all the
So if you have to take care of your family, then you cannot afford to be weak or sickly. So that drives me, and plus the fact that I read a lot.
Yes.
I read about what can give you good health, what can do. So if meat is going to be a problem for me, I may enjoy eating plenty of it today, but in the near future, it becomes something that people will now have to be carrying me around. I'd better cut it.
Let's not meet up with the meat.
Exactly. If meat is going to meet me at the point of messing my health, I'd rather not meet up
with the meat.
With the meat.
No meeting.
No meeting with meat. So what I'm saying is, I want to live a good life.
Yes.
I want to be strong. I want to be able to be active. I believe that even at my age, I believe I still have a lot.
Yes, to offer
the world.
Yes.
You know, to offer my family, to offer the world. So, and I have to be in a good state.
Yes.
Physically, mentally, and so I'm always looking out for if somebody talks about maybe a particular type of fruit somewhere, I run to Google. I go and
check
search.
The properties.
What is it about? What are the active ingredients? Fortunately, I'm a science person. So what are the active ingredients? Is it vitamins? Is it protein? Is it a particular element somewhere that does something? And I try it out. So I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to live long. My grandparents lived very long.
Yes, that's so true. Over 100.
My grandfather was 123 when he died. Very strong. He never wore glasses, and he read his Bible till the last minute. You know, Bible, winnie, Yoruba Bible, till the last minute. My grandmother was also quite old, you know, before she passed on, and you would wonder what is it in these people, and you want to it's a good thing.
Yes.
So you desire a good thing. So that is why, and together with the fact that I discipline myself.
Yeah.
This thing takes discipline.
Yes, it does.
I sang a song for you that in the diabetic clinic, one woman who attends the diabetic clinic, who was the one that was telling me that in the clinic they make them sing this song that the friend of the mouth is the enemy of the body. And the friend of the body is the enemy of the mouth. That means what will be friendly with your mouth, that's what will be sweet. Sweet, yeah. It's not good for your body. So I go after all those kinds of things. When I hear something, I pick it. I look at it. Is there something that could be useful for me? Yeah. And then I follow it up. So that's just what I do.
Awesome. Admirable. You know, this doesn't come very common to many people in the present world, because in the present day, because people live in the fast-driven culture, fast food, fast this, and God forbid, fast death.
Exactly.
Right. So sometimes to live longer, you have to stay off certain things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't eat junk food. I avoid junk drinks. No matter how sumptuous the table, no matter where I am, let it be the Queen of England that has invited me to dinner. What I will not eat out of all the
is now the King of England, though.
The King of England. That is.
We don't want the Queen to invite you.
So I will not eat like a king. I will eat like what people would think.
There's something they say about eat like a.
You eat breakfast
like a king.
A king, and dinner like a pauper.
Dinner like a pauper. I think there's something about lunch. I can't remember. Like a workout or something.
I don't remember that one, but
yeah.
So that is it's just the ability to discipline yourself, to commit yourself to a purpose, and to discipline yourself to accomplish it.
Thank you so much, Mommy, for sharing gems, not germs. GEMS.
I don't even have germs to share.
Right. You have germs to kill, not to share. Okay. So I want to talk about professional accomplishments. Okay. So you were provost of the Federal College of Agriculture for 8 years or 6 years?
For almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years.
It's a 5-year
term.
Single tenure. It's a 5-year single tenure, and I completed that tenure. So when you complete your tenure, that is it.
The end, yeah.
But about 2 years after I completed my tenure, I was invited back.
Yeah.
To
Because we're so good, they couldn't let you go.
Yeah, and they ran into problems.
And
There was a lot of crisis, so the minister had to, Minister of Agriculture had to recall me.
Yes.
To come help them restabilize the system.
So I know you did a lot of work there locally, but also you did a lot of work internationally and did some work with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and all. So what are some of the things you would say were achievements and also lessons that you learned working in the system? Because there's a generation of people who are very averse. They don't want to do any kind of government work, right, for different reasons. So maybe somebody might be inspired, or somebody who is in government might be inspired to do better.
Yeah, there's a lot of improvements that can be made actually. Well, let me first talk about my provostship. When I was coming in as provost, the system was at a very deep low in so many aspects. In terms of infrastructure, in terms of meeting the mandate of the establishment, in terms of the social environment, things were really confused. Things were really on the low. And when the mantle fell on me, the first thing I did, I went on 40 days fasting and prayer.
Wow.
Yes, because I knew what I was coming into. There was so much bitterness, so many frictions. There were factions. There were all kinds of things. There was rot in the system. And I knew what I was coming into. So I prayed. And that is basic, fundamental.
That's powerful.
For wisdom, for direction, for peace, for understanding, all manner, 40 days. And you know the funny thing I did? I drafted the whole establishment into fasting and prayer.
Wow. For the 40 days or part
no,
of it? Okay,
for 7 days.
Wow.
We fasted. And I was shocked that they agreed with me. I was shocked. That was the first surprise that God gave me. So every day after work, at the end of the day's work, we came together. We prayed together at the big hall. Amazing. Everybody was there. So that was where I won the victory to start with, before even starting the work. And I was able to accomplish a lot.
Yeah.
The entire... what do you call it? The entire institution changed. Buildings started
rising,
to spring up here and there, and there.
This was an institution that had been in existence for years, and
I celebrated the institution's 90th anniversary during my tenure. 90.
And they had been
that was
a
like
long dry
1
season.
or 2 years after. And they had been there all along. So academically, I brought in more departments, which were approved by the regulatory bodies. And to get new departments approved is no beans. Is no beans. With the little that we were given, little funds that we were given by the government. In fact, by the time I was rounding up my tenure, that's the complete tenure, the first tenure, the person who came to represent the minister, because I rounded it up with a convocation ceremony, where we commissioned a lot of projects. So that man had to turn to me at a point, because we were moving from one point, commissioning this, commissioning that. And he asked me, he said, "Madam, do you have an international partnership I said, no. He said, do you have some other
patron.
source of fund? I said, no. He said, so it is your government allocation that you used to do all this. I said, of course, yes.
Wow.
I won't use my salary to build something for the school, and I don't have a business that could. So the man himself was shocked.
Impressed.
He was surprised.
Yeah.
So I was able to accomplish so much, increased the students' population, of course, because we had more departments. I was able to change the mentality of the staff. Suddenly, everybody wanted to work. Everybody wanted to contribute something to the system. People will come to me, people that you will be chasing, that please come and do this. Why are you, so lazy? Why are you running away? Why are you negligent? Why are you this? No, they were coming to me. Is there anything you have for me to do?
Wow.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
Is there anything? There was a man who called me in the night one day. He said, Mommy, I noticed that for the past 2 weeks, you have not even called me to do any assignments.
And you can imagine the reason this is quite ridiculous is that there's a pervading culture in many government parastatals where people don't
you earn your money for doing next
to nothing or just doing the barest minimum.
At first it was not that easy. I was pushing them. Of course, I'm a very hard person.
Yes, you're
and I know I could be tough on people. So I was pushing them, I was driving them, and a lot of them found that
very different,
very, very difficult. Some even found it unbearable. So there were protests, there were complaints, there were, but with time,
eventually, when they saw the productivity,
they wanted to be part of the success story. So everybody came on. So I was able to achieve that. And our institution became a mecca of sorts. People were coming from similar colleges all over the country to ask, we learned you have a special type of poultry. Please, we would like. A colleague will call me and say, yes, they said you have established an entrepreneurial
I think the farms
center.
were also growing.
Oh, yes, the farms were functioning.
Because it was a college of agriculture.
So that had
different
no
farms,
next to...
They just had land, and many of those things had died.
Exactly. So our students got interested.
Yeah, they could see the practical value of what they were doing.
Exactly. Many of them were just attending the school to earn a certificate prior to. But now they got interested. They started forming groups on their own, to learn more about their profession, to prepare themselves to go into the practicals after graduating. So, whenever I think of all that, I am always so glad. And then at national level, I was made at a point the chairperson of the body of
those
provosts
schools
of colleges of agriculture nationally, and it was I was is it elected or appointed unopposed? when you don't have an election and they just say yes, no nomination, she's the one, and in that regard I represented the colleges within the country, sometimes outside the country. I was a voice for them with the Minister of Education, even with the presidency, and all of that. And then on my own, academically, I was also doing my research. I had started doing all that before I became provost. In fact, after I became provost, I didn't have much time to do all that. And the interesting thing is that there's this platform, there's this global platform of research, ResearchGate. That's what they call it. Even up to yesterday, every day they give you an update of what is happening on your publications. Even up to yesterday, publications that I had like a decade back, they will still tell me somebody read this
and
your
commented,
publication,
wow.
somebody referenced your publication,
Amazing.
somebody is asking for the full text of this particular publication, and so on. So those are part of the achievements, and the one that gladdens me more is that I was able to build people.
Yes.
I was able to build my students, and a lot of them quite appreciated and still appreciated. Some of them even got married and named their children after me.
Wow. Wow.
That's so interesting. So
amazing. Well done, ma'am. Well done. So I was just thinking that research gate. So I didn't know that Bill Gates had a member of his family called Research.
Because he has a lot of researchers
Around him. So he finally gave birth to one.
Yes.
Research gate.
Which stands at the gate.
Oh. Kai. Real search Gates.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's Gates man.
He has a lot of researchers who manage research, and one has to stand at the gate. That is the one called Research Gate.
Okay. Then
So
there's another question I need to ask. Okay, so let me say, please, what would you say to somebody who wants to work, who is in the government? Before I say, let me say this. If you are in a place where you want a brilliant researcher, lecturer, communicator, look no further. Like, we're looking for like international platforms to showcase our wealth of wisdom. Right? So if you have all those like big projects, you want to like an Iron Man kind of thing. It doesn't have to be that grand. But if you have a big project, I'm sure, would you be open to consulting for?
Oh, I will.
UN,
like I said, I still have a lot to offer
the world. So please,
I write books.
Yes,
I was telling you,
quite the number.
I do a lot of writing. I said I write. I undertake courses.
Yes,
like in the last 1 year, I've taken 3 courses. On soft skills,
yes,
communication. I can't imagine myself sitting idle
and not growing.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So Google her, check out her work, and you just be mind blown. But don't just be mind blown. Let's tap into this ever flowing wellspring of wisdom. We're running out of time, but I need to ask a couple of questions.
Okay.
So you are a powerful leader. You are a very powerful leader, and that's very clear, not only domestically but also like everywhere you've gone. Church, ministry beyond church, your career as a professional, as a lecturer, as an educator, as an administrator. You're a leader. Give us 2 leadership tips, then I'll ask my naughty question after that.
Okay. One, there are so many tips around leadership, but one is that there's one of the definitions of the many definitions of leadership is of a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. The first thing is you must know the way. So one of the most important qualities of leadership is you must seek knowledge about anything, especially those things that relate to your sphere.
Yes.
So you must know, you must be knowledgeable. And the second one, let me say, a leader must be ready to place himself or herself on a pedestal where others can look up to him. Yeah, just see yourself as I am being
model.
looked at.
Yeah.
A city that is set on a hill that cannot be hid.
Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. So when we were growing up, you used to say very interesting things. Like this one, classic. Hey, ọmọ yìí tẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ relax. Bá mi sáré fọwọ́ ra àwọn aṣọ yẹn. What on earth does that mean? Because Mommy, you bring like a whole stack of clothes, dirty clothes. Then I'll be like, when you want to relax, just use your hands to rub these clothes. I didn't used to get it. I didn't used to understand. Even relaxation one year. But let me speak Yoruba now. Even relaxation wo niye. Why you want to relax? Why you want to relax? I want to sleep. I want to watch cartoon. I want to eat gugu and ekpa. I don't want to be rubbing no clothes.
Okay. The whole essence is to present the task as fun, as very light, not as anything arduous, so you don't get it in your head that,
I'm about to work.
I'm going to need a lot of energy to do this work. So it's psychological. And of course, you know that if you now go there and you have to rub, you know what the consequence would be. so that was just, it was just to
ease us into the task.
Yeah, to ease you into doing the work without really feeling
strained
and like you are being punished, something like that.
Beautiful. Let me ask some questions. You live in Canada and Nigeria now, like both places.
Yeah.
But almost every member of the family is in Canada. Which one do you prefer, Canada or Nigeria?
That's a question I can't answer. Because I've been on both ends. They are different in different ways. They are different in different ways. In Canada, I live there. I don't work. I don't work. I don't work
actively.
I don't earn anything. I don't work for money. So maybe those who work for money
might be able
to answer the question better. Because maybe they are making a lot of money. I don't know. But for me, I don't know what I prefer. I prefer Canada for certain reasons.
Yeah.
I prefer Nigeria for certain reasons. Like I'm here now, I'm really very happy. I'm enjoying fine weather. Sometimes
without having to pad up.
Yes.
And wear layers.
Like about twice or thrice a week now, I take a walk around the estate and I don't feel strained. In Canada, I can't do that. Except if it's in summer. Yeah. You are inside one.
Oh, I see.
You are constrained inside the house for long hours.
Yeah.
You can't go out.
Yeah.
You are not free to. That part of it, I don't like it. And it's so cold. You have to wear layers of clothes, and to take steps would even be. You feel heavy. I want to go out. I just put something on and I'm off. So for some reasons, but for other reasons, it's cool, it's calm, it's quiet. Nobody quarrels with me. Nobody puts burdens that are not my own.
Demanded.
Somebody wants to marry.
Are you saying that? Are we quarreling with you? So nobody puts quarrels on you. Are we putting quarrels on?
No, not you. I didn't say you. I said nobody. Are you a nobody?
I'm a somebody.
Nobody expects that this my father that I want to bury next week. Don't. You must be there. Nobody has brought Ashwebi to me in the last since I got there. Whereas before, they will even ask you whether you want
drop it in your house or bring it to your house.
They just drop it in your house, label it, put your name and put the price.
So both ways.
I've been able to escape
all of that,
and I'm so happy about it. They don't know whether you have the money or you don't have the money. So sincerely speaking, each side has its own merits and demerits. Life is not all about money. like I put something on Instagram yesterday. I was actually learning something, so I used that video of me and your brother, your elder brother, dancing on my birthday. And everybody has been commenting, and people now say, she's in money. I'm not in any money, but I am happy. Life is not all about money. I know a lot of people that are going because of money. But life is not all about money. Even over there, they are under serious financial demands. The system,
the regulations,
the system, and all of that. So it depends on what you are looking at as your point of joy. What is it? Are you delivering anything here that really gives you joy? Then why not? They have their own problems. We have our own. So
help us God.
So
help us God.
So help us God. So help us
All
God.
right,
You want to buy something. You can't say, Mama something. Shani. You who? Where?
Mama something.
You can't go out freely to do anything. You can't easily repair things. Like yesterday, I was taking a walk and my slippers caught. So I dropped it today so that they would help me to give a sobata malam. There's no such thing. I mean, so each location
terrain has its own peculiarities.
Its own,
All right, final words, Mama. Your message to the world. What will you tell somebody watching this now? That camera.
Well, I'm so grateful for this opportunity once again. My message is, whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you find yourself, make sure that you make an impact on the world. That's the prayer I keep praying for myself every day. That I will not just pass through this life like nothing is passing by. I want to drop something.
You've already dropped 5 of us. 5 impacts.
I need to draw more things, not more children. Well, maybe grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Make an impact. Make yourself a person of substance. A person of substance is a person that is remembered for something. Whatever your condition, you can still do something. You can still make a positive impact on a life, at least, and be the best that you can be under every situation. That's my message.
Thank you so much, Mommy. This has been a dream come true. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your
God,
wisdom. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your laughs. Thank you for your prayers over the years and over the last couple of days. Thank you for your ginger and turmeric solution.
Ginger, turmeric, garlic,
cloves. We didn't talk about Abara today. We're supposed to talk about Abara today. So my mom is the general overseer of a certain ministry. It's called AIM, AIM, Abara Impartation Ministries.
That ministry is defunct. We no more use Abara. Sometimes I look at my grandchildren and I say, God saved you. That you didn't come in.
You know when you've been treating them, I'm like, Mommy has changed.
That's what they tell me in Canada. So, Mommy, you can be like this. You can handle children like this.
You'll be pampering camera right now. They'll be acting up. You'll be making this for them, making that.
That's what those people always tell me. That
let me be somebody's grandchild again.
So, Mommy can be like this. That anything can change and anybody can change.
No, but why does it happen that grandparents are more relaxed with their grandchildren?
Because they've done their duty. They've paid their due. They've done their job. So, and they have handed the baton over to you. So you can make whatever you like
to do with it.
From it. And besides, these days, if you hit a child, the child will wonder, why? But why? And in those days, no question. You don't ask questions. These children will ask you questions.
Of course they will ask. You ask other questions. Thank you so much, Mommy. We're so blessed to have you, and we trust God that you will be kept. He will keep you in strength, in safety, in good health, in your travels in Nigeria and Canada and different parts of the world. Because you're still going to travel to different parts of the world, and you will see, by the grace of God, your great-grandchildren, just like your grandparents. There's a picture of great-grandma, grandma, yourself, and my sister. 4 generations.
Yeah.
So we trust God. We're going to replicate that picture with you too.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus. Thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of this amazing episode. We trust that you got a lot of practical value, rich value from it. I'm so delighted we're able to have people from their 20s to their 60s all through this season. So we're able to learn from a broad spectrum of human experiences, human encounters, adventures, stories, and all of that. We're about to round it off, but not without playing our game. So are you ready for this, Mommy?
I'm ready. I'm always ready for anything.
Let's go.
But you know you can't fail your mom.
I can't.
Otherwise, let me tell you, the Abara instrument is still
It's
there.
still valid. Once a mommy, always a mommy. All right. So we're going to play the game. Can we have the All right, guys, so welcome back. Don't forget to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. This is the last episode in the season, but subscribe because we're going to be sharing some exciting videos, some clips, some snippets, some bloopers, some behind the scene moments all through the next couple of weeks. So you don't want to miss any part of that. Also, some fresh content coming to my YouTube channel. You're going to love it. Don't let me let the cat out of the bag yet, but it's going to be very exciting. So we're going to be playing 2 games. Number 1, I will read some of the white paper posts I've done, which I know you follow, so you should actually get these ones, but you may not have seen them. But I'll take out some words, and you're supposed to tell me what the words in those quotes should be.
Okay. I'll try.
Are you ready? Let me see. There's one that there's some. I'm trying to make sure that they are not too easy and trying to make sure they're not too hard either. All right, let's start off with this one. This one, this one is so easy. Abraham had a dash to handle. If you're walking by faith, you will have to handle a dash. Same word in those two, the same thing. Abraham had a dash to handle. If you're walking by faith, you will have to handle a dash. I'll give you an idea what that is. But don't look back so you don't turn into a pillar of salt. Abraham had a dash to handle. That dash can be a thing or a being, as in a person or a thing. Abraham had a dash to handle. If you're walking by faith, you have to handle a dash. But don't look back so you don't turn into a pillar of salt.
A lot.
Nice. Nice. Because I remember you told me that this really blessed you the day I remember. But that was a long time ago.
Oh, that's true. I remember.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, the write-up. That
Okay,
came
the
out.
caption
Yes.
on there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, I didn't even remember that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I knew you wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
So, but I was hoping that, okay, because I didn't want to give you something that was so simple. Right. So that was great.
Yeah.
You did me proud. I'm proud of you, Mama. I'm proud.
Thank you.
But if I'm proud, does that mean that God will resist me? I'm humble of you, ma. I'm proud of you, mama.
You are proud of you. You are humble about your pride.
Yes, I'm humbly proud.
You are humbly proud.
Proudly humble.
You are proudly. No, you are humbly proud
of my pride
of
in
your
you.
pride.
All right. Okay, one more. Just to be clear, it's -- day, not bulk sin day.
Just to
be clear. There's a special day of the year. It's -day, not bulk sin day.
Boxing day. Boxing day. Now me born you now.
Mommy was like, oh, they come me. It's Boxing Day, my friend. She was just doing like all those game show. It's boxing. I love it. Come on, guys, celebrate mama. Amazing. All right, so the next one is you're just going to excuse me. You're just going to make up your own white paper statement quote with, but I have to give you 2 words. I have to give you wise woman and queen, because you're both.
Wise woman and queen
must be in whatever you're writing. What you're writing must either be funny or rhythmical or inspiring or poetic.
This one is thoughtful.
But you can take time to think about it. And if you need another sheet of paper, we can always provide that. Because you might need to think.
Wise woman. Wise woman. A queen has to be a wise woman. Can I cancel?
Of course, and you can rewrite.
I don't know what I'm writing.
You can write it again. There's no prayer. No prayer.
I have tried to.
Is that it? Okay. Well done, man. So you read and
and turn it to the camera.
yes, man.
Okay. A queen is a wise woman
Gang, gang.
who kills among wise queens
Gang,
in
gang.
the company of kings.
Lion know they born goods.
At all.
We can see the source of the stream is flowing. It's flowing. It's flowing. Thank you so much, mommy. This is amazing. It's been a very memorable episode, and I'm delighted that all of our children, grandchildren are going to watch this and be inspired and actually know the richness of the heritage they possess.
Yeah.
The spiritual heritage, the intellectual heritage, the disciplines you've installed in us. So there are certain things that when we're teaching them, we're going to be like, say, go and watch grandma's video. It's not just us. Right.
Great.
So I really appreciate the sacrifices and the sacrifice and also the pleasure and the joy that we have shared today. Thank you so much, mommy. I love you. We love you. We celebrate you. All of your children and all of your sons and daughters in love.
Yes.
Not in law, in love.
Like I always tell people when they say, how many children do you have? I say 10.
10. Yeah.
Originally 5, and then I now have additional 5. So I'm a proud mother of 10
and 14
wonderful
14
children.
14
No, 11. You want to give me some?
All right, wherever that's coming from, receive your triplets. All right, guys, thank you so much for being a part of this season. It has been a beautiful first season of the White Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for all your comments on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, on Google Podcast. Thank you for Podbean, all the other platforms we don't often talk about, and for the comments on YouTube and every other platform, for the army on Instagram. Like on Instagram, we've hit hundreds of thousands of views. Some of the videos have actually reached over 100,000 people, all within a couple of weeks. So we are so delighted that you joined your faith with us. And for those who have given, supported, partnered, bought a t-shirt or two, thank you for doing that. If you haven't bought anything, please do us a favor. Be a part of the support in the little way. Buy a book, buy merchandise, buy a bottle, a cup, buy a t-shirt, book the studio, do something, support our cause and our message, and let's plan about doing something bigger in the next season. From the next season, we'll start talking about White Night, and all the tickets and tables are available for sale. But for now, catch up on all the videos and spread the word with us. Once again, let me thank my whole production crew. Let me thank my strategy team, my guys at Dream Space and Dreamstream. Celebrate you, the Bukolas, the Toyins, the Pauls, the GBs, the Yanus, the everybody. go, of course, everybody, and my favorite person on earth, PLT. Celebrate and love you. Thanks to everybody. Love you. See you soon. See you. Season 2 of the White Paper Podcast. Thanks again, Mama. Everybody shout, yay. We made it. We did it.
It's a wrap. For this season.